Welcome to Gestalt Poetry Open Mic for July. Thank you all for being here. We are blessed to share this space together today. Our featured poet is the brilliant, hilarious Clive Oseman from the UK. We'll start with Clive's feature, then the open mic with fellow poets. Please visit my website at amyhoskins.com, the writing sections for updates on events and publications. We also have a Facebook group, Gestalt Poetry Open Mic, if you'd like to join us there. Next month, our featured poet is John Wessick on August 27th. So please stay tuned in the coming days for that announcement. Gestalt is a safe place. Please do give trigger warnings though, if you need to. And I put the list of signups in the chat. All right. Okay, I've got someone texting me that's unrelated. Okay, now I want to give a bio for Clive. Clive is a UK spoken word artist, comedian, satirist, and promoter currently based in Swindon, Wiltshire, but originally from and still very much of Birmingham in the West Midlands. A multi-slam winner who has 3 times competed in the UK Slam finals. He recently debuted his one-person show, What If They Laugh at Me, at the Blue Orange Theatre in Birmingham to great acclaim. He is best known for comic wordplay and an appalling but popular impersonation of the Queen. He is co-founder and co-host of Ooh Beehive, which has been nominated for a Community Service Award at the National Diversity Awards. So please, if you will, unmute and welcome Clive.
Hey, Your Majesty.
Okay, fine.
Hello. Right, it's great to be here. I'm really looking forward to this, and thanks for coming. Hopefully one day I'll make it to Nashville for real, but I have got my Nashville t-shirt on, so just to get in the groove. So, okay, my set. I'm going to do a mixture of stuff, some old, some new. And the first one I'm going to do is actually one of my older poems, which the original version is 6 minutes long, and which is obviously too long to do in a 15-minute set, and it's also too long to do in a slam. So I also did the slam version, which is this one. And it's an alliterative poem with originally 26 stanzas, one for each letter of the alphabet, and each stanza had loads of alliteration with that letter. So this is the 3-minute slam version. Oh, by the way, Amber Met Office warning for bad language, because it will happen. It's bound to. It's me. This is the 3-minute slam, or the shit bits taken out version, whichever you prefer, of the A to Z of animals. Aardvark appears ahead of absolutely all else, the apex of alphabetical arrangement. Some alternative animals are agitated, acrimonious, or even apoplectic, although a few are actually ambivalent. Conversely, see what I did there, no B, I do know the alphabet. Conversely, cats are casually content because they can't comprehend or care about concepts categorising creatures as they carelessly claw chunks from the cuties of Clarissa. Dogs demand different definitions. Don't dare diss Dalmatians or Dobermans. Doing them down is downright dangerous. Dallying with disaster. Dicing with death. Don't do it. Foxes are furious, forever affiliated with fake facts thanks to that fascist fart's favourite fuckwittery-flinging fecal fiction factory, Fox News. They feel fully fucked over by fate. Giraffes go gazing over gigantic gates, getting glimpses of gloriously gorgeous greenery. Grandma giraffes gasp and go gaga for glamorous Gary, the great ginormous gigolo of giraffedom. Impalas, iguanas, idle rhyme in iambic lines, in fact immensely incompatible. It's irrational imagining interspecies intercourse. Idiotic idea. Jellyfish just take joy in jeopardising enjoyment of jolly seaside jaunts. Jackass jerks, jeez. Jellyfish just... Kangaroos can kick in a kerfuffle. Kevin was killed by a king-size kanga, keeled over after a kick in the knackers. Probably karma. Kevin was a knucklehead. Ocelots oscillate between outrageously obnoxious and out-and-out ordinary. only occasionally observably obvious. One once openly organised ocelot orgies in zoos near Oakland and Orlando. Q. Quagga, Quetzal, Quokka, Christ almighty. Quite a quandary. Quality over quantity, quickly quashing Q. Squirrels are stupid. Cyril the squirrel sometimes seems sensible, then says something silly, suggesting some sort of shortcoming in syntactical skills and substandard schooling. The trump. Tangerine textured tosspot. Totally tactless toxic tyrant. Timber brain, temper tantrum trendsetter to the terrible twos. Trashy tramp. Upoopa epops. Upoopa, you pooper. Yuzu super duper pooper scooper. Undeniably unique. Yaks of yesteryear yearned to learn to yodel. Yes, efforts yielded tiny yaps and yelps that travelled yards, yet yaks are yet to yodel. Young yaks do yoga instead. Zebras are stripy, not zigzagged. Zoom in on Zelda driving a Zephyr, zipping away from the zoo. Zelda's sister Zoe Zebra zonked out, catching Zeds. Thank you very much. Right, I hope you enjoyed that one. So I haven't performed that for ages. I used to do that in slams, obviously, because that's the 3-minute version. Okay, so the next one, I've only read this, I think, once or twice in public. And the reason for that is purely and simply because it was at a time when I was writing lots and lots of stuff, and a lot of it was about similar subjects. And this one just got forgotten. And I was reading it last night, and I'm thinking, actually, oh yeah, I'm going to stick that in the set. So it's called Internet. What is it with the internet? It makes me think the world's gone mad. Facebook wars, stupid questions, spam and scam. I like to reply to potential scams in a ridiculous way. Like yesterday, I received an email from someone calling themselves Ethan, which simply said, "Did you receive the email I sent you about 2 hours ago?" And this is genuine, by the way. This was my reply. "Dear Ethan, yes, I did, thank you very much. I apologise for the tardiness of my reply. I usually reply to strangers very quickly. My personal best is 17.92 seconds, though this is disputed because I had a strong wind behind me. My average is 39.26 seconds. It used to be better than that, but I didn't quite know how to respond to the email from the ghost of Frank Sinatra. In this case, the delay was caused by the computer bursting into flames when I opened the email. And in trying to escape the flames, I fell down the stairs I haven't got and landed on the burglar who had just gained entry. The police took a while to arrive. I'm so sorry. I would have used my smartphone, but it was having a day off and wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Do you know Ethan is Old English for Satan? No, neither do I. Anyway, I have a question to ask you. Are you, by any chance, distantly related to Rudyard Kipling? I know that may seem a rather random question, but I have a badge which says I've met a relative of Rudyard Kipling, and being an honest kind of guy, I can't wear it until I really have. Right, okay, so now I've got that out of the way, you no doubt want to know my password. When you provide evidence of your relationship with Rudyard and send me a packet of fucking kiss my ass, you bastard, I'll get back to you. Power to the penguins. And then, of course, there is the plethora of pointless questions being posed on Facebook that are answered in all sincerity by total strangers to the original poster, bearing their soul to the world. Well, fuck that for a game of soldiers. To the question, why are you still single? I replied, and I really do this, by the way, I'm not making this up. I replied, because I stink, and I have an enormous nose. The size of the hooter is in itself not a major issue, but it's considered weird renting out my right nostril to holidaymakers. Body tourism it's called, visiting unusually large body parts or parts which are appropriately named in relation to the person they belong to. This week, they rent my right nostril, next week the arsehole of Nigel Farage. Never, ever the other way round. Oh no. The look of disbelief on your faces tells me you never rent out your bodily places. And that's your loss, not mine. It beats working on the production line. I don't have to work and I'm doing just fine. But yes, the real problem is that I stink. Gentlemen looking for lady for long-term relationship must have good sense of humour, be related in some way to Rudyard Kipling, have no sense of smell, and be willing to tolerate tenants up my nostrils. Is not really a good profile for Plenty of Fish. I think they think I'm a lunatic. Oh well, who needs love anyway? Thank you very much. So that was a bit surreal, I must admit, but but that's me. Right, this is a newish one, which a lot of you will have heard, because I've been doing it on open mics and stuff, and the 2 Beehive and stuff recently. But for those who don't and haven't heard it and don't know, I'm sure most of you are aware that our wonderful Prime Minister, the one and only Boris Johnson, has managed to resign and stay in power at the same time. Not quite sure how he's managed that, but it's true. Yeah. So, and obviously, when he does go, he's going to be greatly missed because he's a great man, and we all love him. And this is a commercial break for those who are going to miss Boris Johnson. Hello? Hello? Right, okay. For those who are going to miss Boris Johnson. Are you missing the halcyon days of the Johnson Premiership, which brought deliverance of a glorious Brexit with all its well-documented benefits? The lies, the scandal, the corruption, the frequent, inappropriate seminal eruption. Do you wake up crying he was stabbed in the back by Sajid Javid and Rishi Sunak? Do you look at the possible successors and forgive the big dog his excesses? If so, you need the Boris Johnson doll, made in the sweatshops that make Boris lol. The likeness to our legendary leader, the lecherous, sex-crazed, dirty the man of many a daughter and many a son who got an oven-ready Brexit done, is uncanny. Buy one for your racist granny. The Gonsoon, which is a registered trademark, is available to lords, ladies and working-class nomarchs, to constituents of the former Red Wall who voted to have themselves kicked in the balls by a privileged scumbag and eaten shit. Sorry. A man of the people, a man of great wit. There are 3 models of this tribute to a towering figure. On each one, the nose just keeps getting bigger and bigger. The Red Wall poverty-stricken edition is, on our own admission, tatty and cheap. But there is a passing resemblance to the lecherous script. Who wrote this script? To the man so worthy of hero worship. The head is painted yellow by a 6-year-old to resemble a mop. The powder for the nose, plain flour from the shop. And there is a ripped condom to stick on his cock. The mid-range model costs a few pounds more. The hair is made with genuine straw and the inbuilt voice tells lies galore. Talcum powder replaces flour and up the nostrils it is devoured. The voice speaks gratuitous Latin phrases and it employs mistresses on fabulous wages in sensitive roles as controversy rages. The deluxe model can be bought for large sums of cash. Just like the real sleazy piece of sorry, did I say that? Well, fuck me purple. I meant the greatest leader since Winston Churchill. The nose powder is genuine coke, and the hair was snipped from the actual bloke. It says whiff-waff and riff-raff and bish-bash-bosh and feels entitled to get noshed off, because it's based on a piece of shit and is incredibly realistic. So buy the Gonsoon doll today, a reminder of those heady days when the charlatan ruled and had his way with anyone willing to carry the kids he was willing to father but never acknowledge. But be careful with it, whatever you do. Whichever model you buy, it will shit on you. And if ever your toys should have a party, don't let the bastard get too close to Barbie. Thank you very much. Okay, so I've got 2 more. And yeah, I managed to mute myself there, didn't I? Oh, don't forget me. Don't forget, I want to read as well. Oh, go away, Liz. I said not tonight. I've had enough of you. No, I've got a very important announcement to make. Please let me have them. Oh, go on then. Come on. This will be the last time, though. I'm fed up of you. You know, coming into my bloody flat, treating this as your own. I've had enough of it. Never mind. Okay. Okay, listen up. I know Oseman didn't want me speaking today. I don't know why, but he doesn't seem to like me very much. When I heard he was doing some sort of show on a boat next month, I told him he could use my yacht for a small contribution to Andrew's GoFundMe page. He told me to fuck off. Said he wouldn't be seen dead on a royal yacht. I told the insufferably common oik not to bet on that, because it could literally be arranged. He went pale and mumbled something in French about Elton John singing Candle in the Wind, which seemed a bit odd, really. Didn't understand it at all, honest. Anyway, on to the reason I insisted on speaking. I have something of a problem with my Prime Minister. Not sure how one can resign and then stay in office, but, you know, that's how it is. I told him I thought he should go now, and do you know what he said? No, of course you don't. Unless Piers Morgan had access to my phone, of course, and then you probably do. But he said at least he had millions of votes and hadn't been in power unelected for 70 years. Fucking cheeky commoner. I said, listen, Alexander Boris de Pfeffel, this is a scandal. But he refused to budge. So what can I do? I went to the Citizens Advice Bureau, and once I'd convinced them that I really am who I say I am, apparently Hackney Citizens Advice Bureau don't expect the Queen to walk in. But as soon as it became clear that I was who I say I am, it soon also became clear that they were too common to offer sensible advice. So this is where you people come in. You are intelligent people. I trust you. I believe there is a chat option on Zoom. Please type in the chat what you would do to him. The winning suggestion gets an OBE in the new year at the reduced price of £100,000. Anyway, I've got to go now. Andrew has ordered the pizza and the McDonald's Happy Meal for his new girlfriend. So, goodbye. I will now hand you back to Clive, who will round off this rather ridiculous, whatever he calls it, set or whatever. And I'm going to go eat my pizza with Andrew. Goodbye. Okay, so I've got one more, and it would be remiss of me not to do this at the moment because everybody's heard it, I think. But it is my most popular and successful piece at the moment, and I do enjoy doing it. But I did have a problem writing this poem. It's hard to explain because, I mean, I live in a flat on my own, obviously, because, you know, I'm ginger, for God's sake. And, you know, I don't have visitors for obvious reasons. And I live on my own. I keep all the doors and windows locked when I'm not here. And yet somebody somehow crept into my flat and swapped over the letters P and F on my keyboard. And I didn't notice until it was too late. You know, I mean, I was getting ready, I was rehearsing for tonight, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? But it's too late to change it now, so you're stuck with what you've got. So this is when F and P change places. This poem, if that's what it is about nothing in particular, just various bits and pieces. I don't like to start with politics, a peeled pull of fistfuts and fanatics who couldn't organise a fiss-off in a brewery, and in the case of UK immigration policy, responsible for plenty of fatalities, though I'm sure they would be reported favourably by Fox News and its British equivalent GB News with Nigel Farage and his friends. So let's be more pliffant and talk about sports feeful like feet Samfras, famous feeful from the fast like Napoleon Bonaparte, or even contemporary feeful like the unfortunately not yet dearly departed Piers Morgan, or Katie Hopkins, who always seems like she's paused a pineapple off her bum. No? Okay, let's talk music. You may have an eclectic taste ranging from the Foo Fighters through operas like the Magic Flute. Old British hits like XTC's Making Flans, Poor Nigel, I'd poison them. Wartime classics like Fack Off Your Troubles. Beatles classics like I Pee or Pine. Pestive songs like A Partridge in a Fear Tree. Or even some frog rock. I wish I was musical. I'd go on tour entertaining the pea-fang public in places like Finland, Portugal, France, and probably New Poundland. But enough of that. Let's talk food. I'm not sure what to eat today. Roast fork and apple sauce, or fish and chips. And if fish and chips, do I have pickled onions or mushy fees? Or do I have a fucker steak and kidney pie? Not saying I eat too much food that's unhealthy and patterning, but my clothes are size trifle XL. Feet of five for fig to feck up fickled feather. What? Plagiarism? Puck up, or I'll funch your lights out. Oh, appended are we? I pray you don't call the police, the coffers, the pilth, the figs. Puck the police! Oh, come on, I was joking. I wouldn't really funch you. I don't approve of fisticuffs or violence of any kind. I'm a pacifist. My house has patio doors. It's a big house. It's rather palatial. With a games room for fool and fing-fong. Okay, I'm taking the fizz. I live in a folky little plat or apartment if you prefer among the pheasants. And I'm probably stuck here until the Grim Reaper comes calling. Whatever a reefer is, I mean, I wouldn't go. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of you. And thanks for having me.
Woo! Oh my gosh, everyone unmute, please. That was so hilarious and delightful.
Brilliant, Clive.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Amazing and funny, Clive. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh.
That was so funny.
It was
So
good fun.
clever.
Thank you.
You're crazy. You're a
I'm
beautiful, crazy
glad I'm
mind.
crazy. That's one ambition achieved.
You're a beautiful, crazy mind. You make me laugh, my friend. You make me laugh.
That's good. That's the aim.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Wonderful. Just so
It's the
wonderful.
problem when I'm not trying to make people laugh and they burst out laughing. Thank you very much.
We're going to start the open mic now. And Laura Grevel is our first person.
Thank you very much, Amy. And Clive, that was wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad I caught that. And you're a hard act to follow, as always. In Clive's honor, and because it's summer, I'm doing a summer set. And the first piece is definitely picked to follow Clive. So feel honored, please, Clive. It's called The Poetry Gods. The poetry gods have been good to me, though they came late to the party, trucked in swamp rhythm and crusted couplets, spilled a keg of onomatopoeia, used bad words to wipe it all up. I've tried to be grateful as I juggle the phrases they throw, those I miss falling and breaking like Greek pottery at a wedding. Crash, bang, splash, what a bash. And the ouzo still flows like hip-hop from bunnies, beatbox from mummies, and Blasmusik from Austrian cows wearing sunglasses. Yo-yo, the poetry gods have been good to me, lashing my pages with salsa and mole and arriba, arriba. I dash, trying to catch the nachos and frijoles that squirm dance over questions of form, refusing sonnets in bonnets and haikus. Forget you. They prefer beer, not Heineken, and polka, not waltz. What can I say to thank these rockabilly fusion punk hillbillies? Because the poetry gods have been good to me. Yours named Byron and Keats. Mine, fat bacon and treats. But I like the do-si-dos and hopscotch these elephant-eared, saucy chops drop from my pen. Because I'm a little saucy myself. Thank you. The next one is called Waldman's Tale, and another summer piece. This one, Waldman means forest man. It's inspired by a real person. And in this one, the cities Berlin and Vienna are in German pronunciation, Berlin and Wien. And Czech means the Czech Republic. Waldman's Tale. This world's a boneyard of bicycle parts, frames footless and wheelless, crying for friends, frames waiting for hands with grease in their veins. This world is a boneyard of pandemic hearts, valves bloodless and cheerless, waiting for love. Limbs waiting for touch with time-withered locks, waiting for someone to come, for something to break, for this earth to quake. When out of the woods rides a Waldman who smiles. He's tanned and he's fit from riding for miles on his strong, trusty bike. What's not to like? From Wien to Berlin, he zigzags through Czech. Round mountains and caves where stones call his name, smiling at birdlings, at furs, and at bears. He's out on a lark with quite a long start, a 700-kilometer hark. 1 week to Berlin, 1 week back to Wien. He sleeps in the ferns and does with earthworms confirm that life is a park. Ein schöner Park, he remarks. Just think, 1 week to Berlin, 1 week back to Wien, skimming through meadows with bees at his toes, singing through woods with belief in his teeth. The boneyard of bikes is a wealth and a crown. So leap on your steed, cinch together your parts, join Waldman right now, and crisscross this hearth. Ride forth, depart, zigzag the earth, weave leaves in your mane, sing to the sky a new lullaby, paint simplify on your Versailles, sing to the sky, sing as you fly. Thank you very much.
Wow, brilliant, delicious, beautiful. So well done. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we have Anjetta Williams.
Here we go. Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. I'm trying to do this from my car because I've been hanging out in on Dolphin Island off the coast of Mobile all week. And that particularly inspired me to write this one. It's just a shorty, and I only have one. It's an acrostic. It's called Sun and Sand. Sitting lazily on the beach, snugged tightly under the blanket of the warming sun. Nurturing sun rays brush my face while relaxing my body, allowing anxiety and toxins to slowly ebb from me. Naughty prisms of sunlight dance and play under my eyelids, daunting reds, blues, ambers, sizzling through the light as my imagination anxiously conjure up new and exciting dreams while sitting under the sun in the sand. And that poem is also going to be an excerpt from my upcoming book, and it's entitled Pieces of Angie, Poems from My Soul, and I will list all the details in the chat. And I would like to give a shout out to Poet Laurent, Henry O. Jones, for doing all of the artwork and helping me with this. It's my very first job. Thanks.
That's awesome. That was a wonderful poem. It was delicious. Absolutely
Thank you.
delicious. Thank you. And I was
Thank
feeling
you.
relaxed at the same time.
I hope so. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you. Now we have Alexandra.
Oh, can I use the screen, please?
I believe so. Let me check. Oh, not me. Sorry. There you go. That should work.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Can you see the graphics going by? You're muted, Amy. Okay. Flying 5 from the Flying series. Flying, flying, flying. Sitting on the big garden swing in front of our lemon and pomegranate trees, gazing at the sea. Such beauty in my magical world. All my magic, all my world. And my heart beat strong, and I smile tenderly, encouragingly. And my heart beats fast, and I promise to try and follow it. And maybe it's time for the hope to come again. Flying, 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 still loving you more and more. Knowing you're the one until the end. And my heart beats strong, and I want to follow it. And my heart beats fast, and I want to find a way to follow it. And maybe it's time to look up at the pink and turquoise open skies for the connection, the certainty of the connection. Flying, flying, flying. Still loving you more and more. Knowing your pure soul until the end. And my heart beats strong, and I follow it. And my heart beats fast, and I find a way to follow it. And it's time for the sweetness, for the satisfaction to come all the way up inside. Flying, flying, flying. Inside our magical world. All our magic, all our world. Riding the same wave, jiving, jiving, jiving. And my heart beats strong, and I follow it. And my heart beats fast, and I follow it. I follow it wherever it goes. And it's time for all the believing, for all the feeling of precious, precious vibrations. Flying, flying, flying. Still loving you more and more. Knowing our pure souls until the end. And my heart beats strong, and I follow it. And my heart beats fast, and I follow it, following, following, following. And it's time for us to receive all these pure perceptions, so centering, so comforting, so home. Flying, 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 still loving each other more and more. Our love flowing between us until the end. And our hearts beat strong, and we follow them. And our hearts beat fast, and we follow them. We follow them all the way up our path. And it's time for all our magic, for all our world, for all our magical world. Flying, flying, flying. Thank you.
Wow. So meditative and beautiful, just flowing. Just it's transformative, don't you think? Thank
I have
you.
to say, I'm always very embarrassed when I'm doing the romantic poems.
Oh. Oh, did great. Thank you. It was awesome. Wow. And now we have Jeff Cottrill.
Okay, so I'll do a couple of pieces I'm sure most of you have heard before. This one's relatively new. It's called Google is Your Friend. Hey, you know that new Twitter meme? What new Twitter meme? The one with the kangaroo and the Dr. Pepper bottle. Yeah, what about it? I don't really get the joke. What's it about? Google is your friend. Excuse me? Google is your friend. Why don't you look it up online? I could look it up, but you're right here. I thought you might know. Well, it's not worth my time to explain. Look it up. Okay, fine. By the way, I missed the Jays game last night. You know if they won? Google is your friend. Sorry? Google is your friend. Just look up the score. But you're a Jays fan. I thought you might have watched the game. Yeah, I did, but it's not my responsibility to relay baseball scores to you. I didn't say it was anybody's responsibility, because it isn't. Go look it up like a normal person. Okay, fine, I will. Good, sure. Now I gotta head to work soon. Oh, okay, how's the company doing? Google is your friend? Google is your friend. Look it up on the stock exchange or something. But I was just asking out of curiosity. Since you work there, they don't pay me to satisfy your curiosity. That's on you, look it up. But I was just making conversation. Well, I don't owe you conversation. I don't owe you anything. All right, so there. Why does it offend you so much when I ask you a simple question? It doesn't offend me. I'm not offended. You react as if you are. That's pretty presumptuous of you to assume you know how I feel about anything. I feel fine if you must know. So why do you lash out at me over a question? I'm not lashing out. I'm just doing you the favor of pointing out you can easily look it up. Google is your friend. But Google is so impersonal. Isn't it more fun to ask another human being? Isn't that what human connection is all about? Isn't it more satisfying to share questions and answers and points of view with other minds? Isn't it more progressive to have a society that openly asks questions and discusses things with nuance and exploration of ideas, instead of just silencing each other? Isn't it? No, it isn't. Okay. I'll tell you what it is. It's a sign of your toxic laziness and immaturity. It's a sign you can't be bothered to take responsibility to stay informed. You're so self-absorbed and devoid of empathy that you're willing to waste other people's time manipulating them with inane questions. I think you need serious psychological help. I think you need to take time to reconsider the way you treat other people. Until you do that work on yourself, you should probably stop trying to connect with others, since you clearly have no people skills. All right, I apologize. Do you even know what you're apologizing for? For everything you just said. And I'll work on myself. I'm sorry, I didn't realize how you felt. Felt about what? About people asking questions. I didn't know you felt that way. Well, Google is your friend. What? Google is your friend. You should already know. If you looked it up, you would have found my blog, which explains everything I feel. Don't you read my blog? You know something? Sure, Google is my friend. Yes, it is. But you sure the fuck aren't. Goodbye. Hey, where you going? Come back. Oh, why am I always so lonely? Well, at least Google is my friend. So again, that was a newish kind of one called Google is Your Friend. And this one has just been, an excerpt, I should say, an excerpt from this poem has just been published in this year's Brownstone Poets Anthology in New York. And it's called Vanilla Ice Cream People. From the makers of vanilla ice cream, we now bring you vanilla ice cream people. You find them in all the monster malls and gated backyards, never leaving a location without a car. Vanilla ice cream people, the people who find butterscotch ripple too dark and dangerous. The way great artists suffer for their visions, vanilla ice cream people ache to achieve the perfect front lawn. When vanilla ice cream people want to rock out, they blast the neighbors with Celine Dion and Barry Manilow. When vanilla ice cream people want a fun night out, they shove the kids into the SUV and dash to Pickle Barrel in a softball game. When vanilla ice cream people want a good laugh, they count on Garfield or an afternoon of Who's the Boss reruns. When vanilla ice cream people want to improve their minds, they scan their bookshelves for the works of Anthony Robbins and Philip McGraw. Vanilla ice cream people dream vanilla ice cream dreams. One lady says, "Today, I'm a sales rep But if I apply myself and work hard and set clear goals and steel myself to face tough challenges, in a few years, why, I could be assistant to the manager. No, dare I say it? Assistant manager. And one man says, I'm so depressed, but I'll feel better after I buy that new waffle maker by Cuisinart. Vanilla ice cream people know how to make benign conversation that offends nobody. How's it going? And Mondays, eh? Or if they feel plucky, you working hard or hardly working? And vanilla ice cream people have bedrock values. They know what is important in life. Like a 2-story house with a giant garage housing at least 2 cars and the sexiest lawnmower in the lane. And babies, barrels and barrels of babies, and more babies. There can never be too many babies. Babies raised more by Disney and football than by their parents, who just pay for swimming and piano lessons. Babies who eat vanilla ice cream or plain chips for every dessert and never question the meaning of it all, and then grow up to be the next generation of vanilla ice cream people. Vanilla ice cream people who would rather die than give Neapolitan a fair try. Thank you. That was Vanilla Ice Cream People. My next Zoom feature is on August the 6th at SpoFest, and I'll put links about my novel in the chat. Thank you.
Wow, that was brilliant. Thank you so much. Just so meaningful underneath all of it. And the dialogue is just wonderful. Thank you. We don't have Finn Hall, do we? I think he's not able to join us. Ian, Cynthia, Richard. Do we have Bear Wolf? Deborah Burris-Kitchen? There you are.
I'm here. I just keep messing my camera up. I'm trying to get to my poem and I hit the wrong button.
No worries.
Some of you heard this, I guess Thursday. Some of you joined for that poetry reading, so I apologize in advance, but I still want to share this one for those who have heard it already. But it's called September in Alabama, 1944. In the Jim Crow South, pale-skinned predators roamed a dark rural dirt road in Abbeville, Alabama. This same road Reese walked when she left the church, feeling safe and protected by the Lord after saying her prayers, singing hymns while on her way home to be with her husband. Reese was not aware that a pack of yellow-fanged beasts waited to blindfold her and drag her into the woods. Drooling for prey, their hunger they must satisfy. Once they yanked her into the woods, the savage beasts violently raped her, mutilating her beautiful brown body until more children she could no longer have. She begged them not to kill her. My babies need me. Please don't kill me. I promise not to tell. The rabid beast left her mutilated body half dead at the side of the road, bloody, her church dress ripped to shreds. The sight of her blood-drenched fangs, the stench of their body odor, still lingered in her head. The foul odor of the beast would not go away, nor would the nightmares Reese had from being raped in the Jim Crow South. The laws were written in a way that these carnivorous beasts got away with the rape. You see, these beasts had inalienable rights. They could molest a Black woman and disappear back into the woods, knowing they were untouchable and protected by white hoods. The beast let her go. She promised not to tell, but told she did. She said of the blood-stained beast who gang raped her, she said everything that the 6 beasts did to her. The police claimed she lied. They told her, the beasts you described do not exist. She cried, they do exist. To me, they did this. The response was not a surprise to Blacks who lived in the South, for they knew the laws in the South were made by the same evil beasts that lived in those woods, the ones that raped Reese that September night, the beasts that threatened to kill her and burned down her house. But she couldn't help but tell the truth. She said what the evil beasts did to her in the thickets. With great courage, she let the words come out. The obnoxious beast colored yellow gathered, claimed the title of grand jury, declared that justice to them mattered. The grand jury decided not once but twice that these predators will always be evil beasts. It is their primary instinct. They can't be held accountable for their crimes. They wouldn't be indicted on any charges that day. They would not be indicted ever for what they did. The hooded henchmen of the yellow blood-stained beast proclaimed that they were sorry that justice was never served, but the apology came a bit late. It came 67 years after that violent gang rape. That apology could never negate the pain and suffering that Reese endured after being raped by a pack of 6 rabid beasts. The stench of the yellow blood-stained beast still lingers in the Alabama night air. Packs of these drooling beasts are still on the loose, running around rabid, raping Black women without remorse, knowing they will always be free of charges. You can't shoot them, you can't lock them away. When the victim of a predatory beast screams rape, the savage beast will not have a price to pay. The beast will be protected as if they are endangered species, but endangered species they will never be. Many Black women still file rape charges against these beasts today. If you go to Alabama, some people say that the malodor of the beast still lingers in the still night air, confirming that beasts are just as plentiful today as they were that September night in 1944. These beasts are in Alabama to stay. Their stench will never go away. And this was actually a witness poem. So it's based on a true story about a woman that was raped in Alabama in 1944. But thank you for letting me share that.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. It was very sobering and it's true. As you said, it's a witness poem. That was amazing. Thank you. Now we have Therese Craine-Bertsch. Did I get that right?
Hi. Thanks. I'll read the 2 latest poems that I wrote. Some of you have heard it. This is called, and thanks, Clive, it was great. And so all the poets have been just great. This is called Apology for My Imperfection, Confessions of a Single Mother. If I could, I would cover you with love and heal your wounds so that you might share again somehow. Do you want me to now? It is the choir invisible who prays for us in song. Yet for just how long can I go on believing in the grace that overcomes the feelings of disgrace and shame? No one is to blame. Am I wrong? Is it only the death of me that finally will set you free? Beyond this place to see my face, beyond this space into eternity, will you abandon me? It is not within my power, and I pray somehow my prayer will reach the breach. I will not doubt, and yes, I will go there, and I need not know what it's about. Although I do not know, I can be kind, leaving all behind to begin anew over and over and over with you. Do you doubt that this is true? Forgive yourself, and then my turn may come. These broken pieces will solidify and mend, and you will see how I was overcome, the me that's me, and my capacity. I did my best and gave all that I had and did not save the rest. And though I could no longer see where to garner energy, I relied on God alone, for all you had was me. Grace was the key that engendered loyalty, and loyalty can set us free to grow into our very self-embracing humanity. That is my prayer, and Saint Therese, who scatters roses everywhere, is with you. I am content knowing the love of the divine is there at every turn, and then when you feel alone and feel you need your mother, you will discover love again. That's one. And this is part of, hopefully, a book that I will prepare. I interviewed 11 homeless women for my dissertation, and I'm writing a poem about each one. This is just the latest of them. This is called Brenda. You do not see me treading water as I hide my face. I'm a secret lifetime warrior, in this forbidding place. I'm mending all the broken dreams. Can I keep up the pace? My body still remembers all the men who mocked me with disgrace. My mother's lovers used her body and used mine too for temporary pleasure, which soon evaporates in time and never was a measure of love or passion. No, they missed the everlasting treasure of love obtained and love exchanged and hope renewed together. They used our fragile bodies then as if we were their leisure. Now, unseen, I dwell with other urban guerrillas who have been forced within your structures. It takes our lives to demystify all daily struggles that you caused by your social ruptures. I've learned I can rely on you. I've learned I can't rely on you to value who I am, and for my children's sake, reject the trauma when I can. Though victimized, I stand erect and will not make the same mistakes committed by my mother. My children will have futures. As another pathway is in sight, they will escape this long, harsh night. So that's the other one. And I'm not sure if, I don't think I've recited this here, but this is also my latest. It's called, and then I'll be done. It's called Teilhard's Question About Essence. Teilhard is a scientist, mystic, priest. So, hey, could someone tell me why I'm here now amidst the galaxy? I was told to love, serve, and be happy above with God who said, when two or more are gathered in my name, I'm there instead. So why am I here? It's all a blur. And what occurs, though there's something about love that endures and knowledge and language disappear, which makes it clear somehow. Being here is how we grow, sinew by sinew, and our fear can be transformed by love. It's hand in glove. When we relate at the gate that opens wide all the mysteries inside. And while directions are not clear, we can hear them if we listen. We shimmer and we glisten and radiate a newer form of energy that sets us free to be ourselves. And then, glory be, we now have gained all, as all was set in motion with desire to relate and to co-create. I must confess I was a mess for following someone else's story. Although I learned I was concerned it wasn't mine, but still I tried and tried and tried again. Well, I used to be in pieces. My head had no real way to say just who I am. And if I may, maybe if someone knew how to teach us, it could increase our everyday experience. We wouldn't have to freelance in trying to make it all work, our heads, our bodies, and erotic urge. We could compose ourselves and come to know how love congeals and helps us grow into differentiating. Now, that, my friend, is the full realization of a co-creation that makes us one, only when we become our essential self. To love all begins in trial and error and risking the terrors that accompany risk. The grief and loss of our first fall had left us shattered, and so we scattered, defining ourselves by difference. There is suspicion now that we are alone and we must have it all through competition, and not atone or do our very best along with all the rest to love and live in service. Our faulty misperception or perversion of that love sustains us, can be blamed for our confusion. You see, in the noosphere, there are hints of this fusion we require to rewire us into communion. It all begins here, and love is very near, and love is always erotic. Love is not only exotic or romantic or the love of family or the frantic search to pair. It isn't there. Love is everywhere. So why I am here cannot be clear, and it is a risk to be transformed, so be forewarned. Grieve what we are and what we know, for this must go, and only shows the endless evolution of the cosmos. Now, not to be verbose, it is you and me who will set us free, and if we listen and act, we'll make our way back. We will love one another, and we won't need the cover of a disinterested bystander. Yes, this plan for me in our galaxy is so much grander than I can see. Meaning is woven throughout all our suffering, though love would have it otherwise, not desiring our grief or tears or sighs. Then appears the light that breaks through in the night of despair, showing signs of hope everywhere. At times this means the light hides deep inside where it allures. We forsake our weeping and dig deep, and love reassures. This is the way to patch you all back forever, where mind, body, and emotions meet and speak all together in one voice. Rejoice. We're on our way, with no division, and the prison of despair, for hope is planted everywhere. That's it. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. That was so profound and wise and beautiful and healing.
Thank you.
Also transformative. Just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Epiphany Divine.
Oh, thank you. Everybody's just so good. I tell you what, thank you for the opportunity. I got a piece I want to read from my book, and then I have a new piece I want to read. I want to read something funny. And this one's called Can Cockroaches Hear? I often wonder if cockroaches can hear. I wonder if they hear when my breadcrumbs fall on the counter or other food stuff dropped as bait. I wonder if they smell my food when I start cooking, and if they know exactly when it's done, timing their arrival for when I sit and eat, so they can eat in peace too. Are they smart like that? I know they scatter when the light comes on. I know they move fast when they feel vibrations from my footsteps. I don't light up like that or move sharply when I watch them. My cockroaches must be blind. Yep, blind for sure. In fact, I know they are blind because they come out from hiding, even though the light is on, and I stand here waiting for them with a can of Raid in my hand. Dumb, blind, dead bugs. Okay, and then I have another piece that's very new. It's called Sweet Liberation. It is not edited, but it's a funny kind of piece. Sweet Liberation. It's July 2022. I am excited, liberated. My imagination is opulent, healthy. I am on a vacation, sort of. I call this place the Lake House when it's really a riverfront estate. I like how Lake House sounds and often imagine Sandra Bullock as my neighbor. One secret revealed. Now that didn't hurt at all. But really I'm here because my sister is sick. She has a hacking cough, congestion, mucus, poor appetite, no fever or pain, but her body functions are hijacked, arms in the air begging for mercy. While I, on the carpet floor, burrito wrapped in my blanket, fall asleep, rest for a while, wait for her to call for help. Later, she said she wanted a Whopper from Burger King. We immediately left the house. Do I need to get out of the car? I asked while driving. No, sis, we can go through the drive-thru, she replied through her mask. Good. En route, I realized we needed gas. This cute little BMW X1, that is. I had another secret, and my sister didn't know it. I had no underwear on, none. Freedom, liberation, my private revolution. Suddenly, and I mean suddenly, it rained boisterously. Large drops formed, waved in the air like synchronized birds in flight, and beat on the little car that kept our bodies dry, except I had to get out and go into the Shell gas station while naked under my dress. I ran in and out quickly. I stood under the shelter as the high-priced premium gas pumped. Winds blew, rain hit my face, my braids wet my dress, I raised my hands and danced with my unavoidable wetness. My Birkenstock squished with every dance step. Nobody knew how free I felt, hippie free, smoking shrooms free, holding hands, kumbaya, singing free. This trip to Burger King was a baptism, a confirmation to continue my revolution. Oh, did I say my sister had COVID? That's that piece.
Well done, well crafted, so visual. I'm like in all of your stories. Wonderful. Thank you. Now we have Brian J. Daly.
Oh. I got a couple here. This one is called ice fishing. Ice fishing ain't all that hard to do. Drill a hole, bait, drop the line through, and wait. Try not to freeze your balls off or gulp so much booze you falls through the ice you damn self. In which case the wife might hit her knees for once in her life and praise God for granting her ferventest of wishes. May my dull drunkard hubby sleep with the fishes. All right, couple stumbles there. The second one is called XXL. XXL. I may be an ass, but I was never an S in my whole adult life. And I remember fondly being an M for many a year. So many I thought M was my natural and eternal size, like my length of 5 feet, 9.5 inches, and that my jeans, the same 2 pairs, would fit forever. But at 35, what the hell? I became an L with no discernible difference in my diet, meager, exercise, spotty, or boozing, bountiful. Ye old eat when I'm hungry, drink when I'm dry approach was wearing thin while I wore fat. The bod, it seemed undeniably clear, was dead set on taking my shape into its own grubby hands. At 40, I had trouble snapping my size 38s and concluded they were broken. Soon, I came to see that I myself was malfunctioning. I tried a diet and it worked until the lust for life kicked in again. Man, them jeans is tight. At 50, I accepted XL, like you accept the fact your girl don't love you no more. But that's where I drew the line. My life since then has been devoted to avoiding at all costs XXL. True, I did once buy an Irish woolen cap, size XXL, on account of my bloomin' noggin. But praise God, it turned out to be a tad too big. And anyways, the head, its size being out of our control, is the one body part we don't have to feel shame about if it's XXL and ginormous. Well, one of the two.
So much fun. Thank you. That was fun. Now we have Ravichandri Chittampalli.
Thank you, Emmy. May I share screen, please?
Yes.
This is a poem from one of my series of poems which are on galactical images and metaphors. This is Andromeda, enslaver of men, further enslaved by an envious and arrogant male, galactic and brightest of constellations, abandoned by hapless and fearful parents, dark daughter, most beautiful victim, gifted to a monster by one who had no right, piteous sight upon the ravaging seas, hanging more cruelly than the hangman, saved by the rider of the winged horse, the lost singularity that my eyes can perceive. Let me be your first apostle, my religion, before the great collision can disrupt this world. Thank you. If there is time, can I do another poem? Thank you.
There's time if you'd like to do another.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much. This is, yeah, that's okay. This is called 51 Pegasi b, exoplanet, which NASA found a long time ago. This is this is one of the first exoplanets that NASA found in its search for an Earth-like atmosphere beyond Earth. I just tried to encapsulate man's push beyond the borders as always. Now that we have screwed up our life on this earth, we are intent on screwing up our life elsewhere. So there we are, 51 Pegasi b, Earth beyond Earth, doorway to the dark universe beyond, whose destiny too, like ours, lies linked to darker universes beyond our sense of the beyond. How well knowing you has ended our millenniums of solitude. Yet our dull ears are not tuned to listen to the harp, whose strum may reveal all that matters beyond our present. The search for the axion has just begun, whose hideout out there in the caveless, limitless plasmic expanse, ever expanding, will one day, when found, may reveal where Earth, the rudderless ship on autopilot, is forever bumpless afloat. Then there will be matters heard, to be soon arrived at and touched, as the great ship jettisons at unimagined ports, beyond the warmth of one's own earth, as the immaterial strings, invisible attune. Surely God will then grow proximate. Thank you.
Wow, those were brilliant. And so thought-provoking, just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Vron McIntyre, there you are.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey.
Thanks, Amy.
Sure.
Where's my poem gone? I've got a couple. The first one is a golden shovel, and it was written from a line from a poem by Anne Holloway, which reads, green foliage which shifts in size to let the sunlight through and lead somewhere we've never been before. So this is my golden shovel, which is called Redshift. Sometimes I wonder why greenery is green, if it's actually strange that all this foliage is the hue of little green men from Mars. Which plants are green and which are red? Light shifts along the spectrum we can see, shades change and some turn to copper or fire, fall in autumn sighs of restless wind to drifts of warm colour for us to kick our heels in. Some leaves stay red all year, let fly bright sparks in all that coolness. Fires burn in the branches. After rain, they glisten glossy dark in sunlight, green not even a passing thought through the rich bloods and purples of their leafiness. And their dissident, non-conforming display leads our thoughts to strange shadings somewhere where we move beyond that rainbow we've been taught is all there is, into subtleties we never knew we could dream of. The magenta that we have been told does not exist, into thoughts unthought before. And the second one, Laura might remember this one. I think you might have been there, Laura, when we all wrote poems about. There was a woman who came to visit our poetry group at the Women's Centre in Nottingham, and told us her story, which was a very traumatic story. She'd had a lot of problems with domestic violence and all kinds of homelessness and everything. And she told us her story, and we all wrote poems, and then we made a collective poem out of bits of all our poems. And I think you might have been there, Laura, for that. Anyway, this is the one I wrote. One of the things that really struck me about her story was that one of the ways in which she got her life back on track and started to recover was she started running. She started like running for pleasure, not running away. So this poem is called Run On. Run on. Run steady, run for the long haul. No one can stop you now you've found your feet. You have survived assault on every level, from the violent abuser to the box ticker not paid to care, who left you to live on your wits in fear out of suitcases, one day at a time, till you found someone who understood, who helped you run that gauntlet, that bureaucratic marathon full of obstacles and lies, mistakes and disappointments. Someone who understood this was life or death to you. The empty file, the lack of provision, the trashed house without a floor where you had to poke holes in the ceiling, like those holes poked in your life, leaking all at once. No safety, no security, no freedom. The one-bedroom flat for 4 of you, 3 generations managing somehow. The bed bug hostel, windows nailed shut like the nailed shut system you can't access. You've run a marathon of survival against the odds, found help, support, strength. You have found your feet, survived everything thrown at you. Now you're up and running for the joy of it. Run on, run steady. No one can stop you now. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful dose of real stories, reality, and well done the way you crafted everything. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Do we have Amit? Is Amit here? Okay. Marianne Teft. Let's see. Agata Palmer. Yay.
Hi, thank you. I wasn't expecting the other people not being here. Suddenly.
No worries.
Thank you. Well, there was a real story just now, so I thought that perhaps I'll start with a couple of moth poems. I love moths as plain canvas. So this one is from my book, From the Land of Marmite with Love, published by Exile Writers, Inc. And this poem came to me as I was leaving hospital a bedside of my dying ex-boyfriend. And I'll never know, he was trying to tell me something. I'll never know whether he actually wanted me to be there or not. One of those situations. Black Archer's Moth. All you'll glimpse will be the cassock of my wings, priestess of darkness, keeper of shadows. This is how I serve my purpose. I am the bringer of loss. I didn't ask for it, but there goes another. You aren't the only one pleading, why me? Haven't you noticed how urgently I long to follow the light until death, just like you? Thank you. Just needed to pause there for a moment. Aussie Pete, go well. Moths are so diverse. Silkworm moth. Have you ever seen a real silkworm moth up close? A teddy bear with combs for eyelashes. She swans in white feathers like a flapper, ready to break into a Charleston step. How unsuitable for a farming slave. To obtain a single kilo of silk, it takes almost 7,000 worms being killed, boiled, or gassed, depending on the method. And thank you. And one more moth. I don't know if I have time for two more poems. One more, and yeah, thank you. A prominent moth. You are like a movie star from the era of silent films, glamour in shades of grayscale, wearing patterned lace with a fairy trim and staccato heels. I almost expect you to light up a cigarette in a long holder and blow smoke playfully into my eyes. Then, sipping a highball held in a gloved tentacle, you tell me all the secrets of others, overheard in the privacy of candlelight. You indiscreet Greta Garbo of the insect world. And just walking away from moth briefly, we are in a beautiful summer, well, very hot summer in places, but this makes me feel, think, remember back to the first lockdown and the beautiful, stunning spring and, you know, the access to the outdoors. So this is from a different anthology I'm in, Pandemic Poems by Bristol Stanza, published by Tangent Press. And my love of my life, snoring away in the background actually, is my dog, of course. So this is called Pulse. Her panting gives rhythm. Her panting gives steady rhythm to our quiet, empty days. Too empty. So I teach yoga and give over Zoom, of course, over 100 sessions in the first 60 days. It props me with purpose, you see. She snores through each meditation. The beat of her tail hitting the floor is the response to the sweet nothings I say, a metronome of our simple joy, the pulse that's keeping us sane. She's wagging, I'm missing my people. We are barking lonely together. Daily figures quote a sharp rise. For many, their vital pulse will stop. The throb of her paws on the wooden floor is the drum roll for our walks, the passport to the outdoors, the daily alibi for me and the dog, my shrink extraordinaire, my only certainty. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I want a dog. No, that was wonderful. So wonderful. Thank you. Now we have Joy Johnson.
I got it there. Am I unmuted?
You are.
Cool. I'm going to try to cram these 3 poems in, so bear with me. I hope they're palatable. This one is called Clean Slate. Opposites attract, like grief and joy. See a flower, don't forget to mourn the precious thing you lost, perhaps your heart. Remembering bad end cut short, unlearn the tattoo in your chest for ace start of our love cavort. Bittersweet ache, like books bumping together, signal from a hymnal of our covenant's snake. Thunder breaks in some place that's remote, I feel certain, and I meditate on the proximity of my sorrow and my sparrow of delight, tessellate across the notebook of a life. Note the coming and going, the wampum that remains, the words, the grace, the recipe for self-abnegation, necropsy, some spring that swings me polarized to boot. Straightening the books, in your mind's eye, you know a rain has come to melt away someone's, your haze, to start a clean slate sky. That one was actually inspired, at least in part, by a Zoom I was having with Amy and the sound of thunder. Anyway, blah. Next one that I would like to read is called Comrades, inspired at least in part by a line from a Jordan Jace poem, if I can only love my comrades if I live. Here we go. Earth up a creek, so many folks, despite I can only love my comrades if I live. So we come together, propose a new design. Though hope is slim, I treasure friends tonight. Integrity paradigm my new delight, because to be here is duty described. Earth up a creek, so many folks, despite I can only love my comrades if I live. And there is still poetry to recite, more excuses to endure, to connive. But truth is, I tried to leave ahead of now, and friends pulled back, love to requite. Earth up a creek, so many folks, despite I can only love my comrades if I live. Can I do one more? Yes? Okay. This one is called Right Effort. Grasping, aversion, ignorance, all 3. Right effort makes us to prevent these traits from tenancy in one's inventory. And should they foothold gain, hiding place to be unlaced, emptied into deep space. Who can concentrate steadfast on this grail? When the world strikes out, accusative case, I try, and notwithstanding, I exhale. The other hand holds intention upright to embrace generosity, wisdom, misericordia, strengthening each alike. Should such occur, in this our kingdom come. Look, throng these files in your ledger system. But on this earth, variously peopled, it's harebrained to imagine a serum, to power a design to such goal equaled. Thank you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Delightful. Thank you. Oh my gosh, your perspective is very, very dense and rich, and I love your vocabulary. Now we have Rawle Iam James. Did I say that correctly?
I am. Actually, my middle name is Ian. I am is just
Oh.
my writing. Yep, you got it, Amy. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for having me again. And thank you for the ability to always hang with great poets. And Clive, you rock, my friend. You're a brilliant, brilliant man. So I have two pieces that I like to share, and as we call it, a night. This first one is called For the Love of Poets. I want to walk with the poets of my times, to meet and embrace them as I breathe in their thoughts. I'm praying to the gods and waiting for a star to be birthed. And as I ponder my poet, I struggle with that label. The word derives from the Greek meaning to make, one who brings experiences to life through words. Some believe a poet is someone special. It is in their artistic expression that stirs creation. We are in a constant pursuit of the myth called truth. In part, it is the patience of beliefs and the alchemy of the sages. It's the vibrancy of different styles of sovereign thinking, from the beyond and the imperfection of life's experiences. A poet's confidence is balanced between knowledge and imagination, but I do not seek perfection, for perfection resides within the poet. Last night, my sleep became a time warp to the ages, as I awoke in a dream traveling on a quilt feather pen. Doors appeared as port of calls into a glimpse of their madness. I am a wish in real time coming to life in suspended time. Pen and paper in my hand as I'm compelled to create. Language spills from my pen into permanence onto the page. I am a poet that writes all forms, for I am not just a love poet. On the contrary, I'm a poet that writes poems to inspire love. End of poem. And I'll leave you with this last piece. It's called Rainbow Culture. I haven't read this in a long time, so I felt the need to pull it out, especially with all the madness that's going on in the world today. Excuse me. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on? Are you listening? It is my hope these words will paint you a picture, to inspire a melody in your mind as your heart dances to the tribal flow. I invite you to listen closely. The diversity that is our humanity can be found in our galleries, museums, libraries, science centers, halls of learning. Since you're listening, let me pose the following. What is culture and how does it define us? Are you still with me? Is it the art that hangs on walls, the songs we sing, the beating of drums that stir our ancestral energies? Or is it the tribal dance of generations past? Is it all that we have done or all that's to come? Is life culture, and does it define us? Now that I have your attention, our flow that vibes is culture. Imagination constructs a creative life. It forms our highest civility. We are people of color, black, red, white, yellow, brown. We display our art with pride. It is our earthly joy, joyously speaking, a rainbow of cultures blended as one. Culture is an expressive, creative, imaginative perspective of life. We are a tapestry of dance, song, music, art, words. The human rainbow arcing from heart to heart. Our collective inner voices are woven together. It is an expression of our humanity. Still with me? Culture is family, the root of our society. From paintings on cave walls to banging bones after the hunt, we crave the outlet that fuels our creativity. It fires the imagination. It is a portal into our collective soul. It gives license to express, protest, revolt, change, and accept who we are. Our internal art is our culture, the rainbow dance of connection. Culture is a window to look back and to vision forward. The door we peer through our evolutionary growth is reflected in all that we do. It is the dance of mind and body, the air we breathe into song, the thoughts that pen poetry. Culture is our hope, our aspiration. It speaks to the power of our spirit. Before we depart and I say thank you for listening, know this. The collective creative energy that shapes our realities is our individual collective expression of life's dance. When we witness the inner art that defines our culture, we move closer to mindful acceptance of ourselves. Culture is the sunrise and the moonlight of our inner art. We sing the same songs with different voices. We dance the same dance to different rhythms. We write the same words spoken in different tongues. We brush the same strokes that blossom in different colors. Culture shows the soul of our community, our home. It's how we define our uniqueness as one. One humanity, one art. We are a rainbow of cultures. Thank you. End of poem. Thank you, poets.
I'm speechless. Oh my gosh. That was thrilling and inspiring, also transformative, brilliantly done. Thank you so much. Very wonderful flow and rhythm.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. And now we have J. Rose Anna.
Hello there.
Hello.
Thank you for having me. This poem is part of a collection called Cosmos in the Closet. And this one is called Jupiter's Arms. Birmingham, and she just made the bus, pulled down another poster calling for an end to us. Taking time to scrunch it up and place it neatly in the trash, the bus won't wait, she's got a dash. And there she is, she grips too tightly to the bus standing rail, and every unfilled pothole is a reminded fail. Hungry and pale and desperately frail, a scrunched up tissue in the other hand, tears and eyeliner to the world she's damned. Her long trip home from the medical center, her plea for help rejected again. Dysphoria remains. Dejected, her doctor shrugs their shoulder, ejected, earth turns hard, its gravity holds her. Objected, subjected, she's caught in the stare of the glare. Oh, to be unaware and to be anywhere but there. Where? Oh, where? It doesn't matter. Anywhere where people really care. Out the filthy bus window, she peeks up high, the setting sun, the blood red sky. Through crimson tears, she feels the glow of a star. No, it's Jupiter. No one else knows. But gravity grips her as she plays back again and again in her head the crap the professionals told her. Unfold her. She gets colder as she gets older. Her hopes and dreams consigned to a dusty old medical folder. She's stuck between two warring factions. This binary world doesn't allow fractions. Her rent is due, electricity too. No money left, no money left. The world's hell with you. She'll work till 2. Mars and Venus are constantly at war. Always one has less and the other demands more. Lonely Mercury is shown the door, only seeing he, but she knows her core. What's it all for? Another bump in the potholed road, taking hold, it's getting old. She's getting cold. One day less bold, just be told your life is sold. Throw in your chips and fold. The blue-green planet is an aptly name. Throwing down chips in a poker game. Spin the wheel on life's roulette. Choose your side and place your bet, because choosing sides, right, is a planetary game. Deforesting the third, conform to the norm. Will she ever find safety beyond the storm? Clinging to a rock that doesn't want her, accept everything she has, something to ponder. She reaches high above the clouds, above the sneers and hateful crowds. Jupiter, I call to you. God of heaven and sky, deafen me with thunder so I no longer hear me cry. and blind me with your lightning. I give it freely if it means others receive enlightening. How end her dreams, such dreams of songs unsung, interset with nightmares of reality and photographs unhung. Under these potholes of life she's flung in the bus, but under, that's where she belongs, right? That's what they say, using medical terminology in a carefully crafted way, seeping through the peace of her inner calm. I have charm, she says. I have charm and do no harm. That was your oath. Through asteroid belt she wanders alone. Dusty shards of rock are no place for home. In Jupiter's gravity she holds on to hope, but in Earth's shadow she feels the tug of the rope. Somewhere in this vast, splendid cosmos, someplace must want her, or at least tolerate her. With no agenda, she might stand tall. The cosmos is infinite, but here in this place at this time, minds are so infinitesimally small, and her back's against the wall. If she doesn't find the wrench, she'll fall, and if there is no one to call, there's no one at all. And if Jupiter is the biggest in the system, perhaps there is hope for less resistance. As she rings the bell, the bus skips her stop, and with an empty purse, she hurries past the shop. Mars spits at her, Venus smirks as they hurry past. It's getting late, she starts work again at 8. 2 shifts a day is her lifelong fate. Her fate is hate, and their hate has mates. Fate's hate is not the only thing on her plate. Jupiter's glow shines bright tonight. It's a beacon of hope against the starlight. Traipsing past a homeless wanderer, sitting in a puddle of their own piss, she pushes her hands deep in her pockets. Her last few coins, it's come to this. Thank you, mate. You're a gentleman. Yes, she certainly is. What, if anything, as life taught her, Earth wanted a son, not a daughter. Now at distance, she's lamb to the slaughter, and gravity's ropals ever taught her. But Jupiter's glow just catches her eye. It reminds her to cling on to hope and try, and perhaps one day she might set out for there, aboard a rocket ship where life might actually be fair. There, here, who cares? But up there, heading somewhere out there, does she dare? 3 days now, not a meal in sight. Ironic for a 0-hour waitress serving food all night. Between you and me, she's losing this fight. And in the distance, the sound of sirens and alarms, foreshadowing perhaps that tonight could be the night. As she falls and calls for Jupiter's arms. But a moment in the nightlight, steps up a stranger under a streetlight, looks down and with a bright smile, holds out their welcoming arms and says, I will walk with you for a mile. Thank you for listening to my poem.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So vivid and powerful, moving, brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And Kathy suggested that you make a show out of that. I think you should. That was awesome. Now we have Greg Slade.
Hey, everybody. I didn't know what the list looked like, so I wasn't ready. Sorry. Got a couple of short ones I'm going to do. This is called The Beginning of the Speech. It is not of one lens or the other I speak, but of the reflection of infinity's reach upon the present without denial, each to each, accepted, the moment of clarity with no past or future, either projected or rejected, knowing more and less of who we have and have not been, of what was and was not then, of what will and will not be, when the picture we seek can ultimately be seen, of what we insist to be, the end. How shall one then best begin? I suppose I'd say then, again and again. I cannot say whether I would have become what I am without having been so thoroughly broken. Some things cannot be subtracted from, only measured from, creating a before and after, the crafting of a moment, the anchor of a pattern, a shape made from moving lines, experience playing out as a perception of time, this so-called life showing itself as a reflection of mind, the thoughts and words that arise when another lens has again been transcribed. That's called the beginning of the speech. And then this one is called the question. I do and I don't love you. You do and you don't love me too. Who knows what will be or will not be, or whatever we will do and not do. We do and don't love each other, as we do and don't know that it's true. Do love me or don't. Will I love you or will I won't? Such it is with the things we do and do not know. Oh, the places we will and will not go. Oh, the love that will and won't be seen to show. Oh, for the love, the things we do and don't. Oh, for me and not for me. Oh, for you and not for you. What this means and doesn't mean is and isn't up to me. Now that you do and don't know it too. What will we ever do or not do? Forget these words, forget them not. It is by measure and degree. We do and don't think what we have and have not thought. Having all the love you ever need, the truth of mine may seem as a drop in the sea. Having had a love gone dry though, my love in a drop may be as an ocean of blue and green, neither or either as happy as not to be seen, on the verge of action and thought, knowing some and knowing not, of what we do and don't feel to be or not to be true. And is the question.
So profound. And someone was comparing you to Dr. Seuss, and also very Zen. I feel really just like the center of a reflective space where you're just thinking about everything and it's gelling.
Yeah, there's something in that wordplay. And it is a little Seussy, maybe a little like E. Cummings too, I guess. I maybe feel like I'm in that vein when I'm doing that. Yeah, really playing with things.
Lovely. Thank you. All right. Well, would anyone else like to read who's here, who hasn't signed up before? Yes? Would you like to? Okay. Let's see. You're going to have to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. And how are you?
Good, thank you.
So it was a very amazing experience being here and reading all the thoughtful, very powerful poems which were emotion embedded, and I was so awed by all the poems, beautifully crafted and recited. So I got to learn so many things from these awesome poets who have big hearts and have recited their poems well. So this is my first time in this poetry open mic and I'm extremely happy. It's already 3 a.m. in the midnight and I'm just joining from India and it's very amazing to join you all. So we'll be reciting 2 of my poems, which today I wrote, and the second one will be from the last year. So yes, may I start? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So first poem which I'm going to recite is titled as Omnibus of Mismatches. Ambivert visualizes the water upside down, confused. She heads to the doors of vulnerability. Introvert chuckles for the sentiments she holds. She pricks the vagabond colonies of her mind. Exhaustion robs the days. Horribility puts on my fate and feeds my purity, the chasm of blood. The setting sun is nothing but someone's untimely death. Someone is mourning over the lost roof over the head. This city lies on every footnote, dragging to heirs. Uncouth mysteries are hollowing the dark. Cramps are casualized with the killing hands. Psychophancy has been a new way to discover forced and embroidered words. Materialistism eyes the hearts of poems, cramming them with the hollowness in integration. Rogues running here and there with a vicinity of planks and bungee jumping. One after another, they achieve their goals. The goals of extracting the healthy fats of this society that loves to live on toxicity. Thank you so much. I will be soon reciting my second poem, which I wrote 1 year back. It's titled as No Name, No Exaggeration, No Exhibition. Busy roads are terrifying me. My tremor gets triggered. My eyes witnessing a traffic jam of precious teardrops. This feeling is terrible, as if the moments won't go anywhere before slicing me into pieces and leaking my blood. I sit here to find calmness, whereas the blurry visions tempting me more to furiously write, rather to create hurdles. I wish he could understand how much it takes to unearth the heart from its roots, to ironically mix its scarlet blood in the water, to sacrifice everything into one moment and then to start from scratch with a stitched, foolish heart. My heart, it has been stabbed numerous times. Also, my fault was to allow it to get swayed away with the oppressiveness of betrayals. Maybe he is not among the one. Maybe he wants me or he wants me not. Maybe anything that matters to me is simply a glass of water to him. Sabotage can be picturized through the clean floor, as if the dust have been swiped away with the mass of the floor. Bereavement is my entity, pointing me repeatedly, pricking me for a lot of time, poking me to vomit the vexation out. The hollow body can't go straight with the unending softness of my soul. I feel finished here right at the moment, and the sweetness of the crowd chops my body into pieces. Damn, I had been there before, surmising the agony of treachery for several times. Scorching heat of summer teases me with the thirst. Even the quench can't satisfy the dried, withered mind. I feel, let me burn, let me burn, let me turn into ashes with my highly insatiable being. I feel each moment is a tragic reflection of its previous moment. I feel hard, I feel less, I feel more. I feel the feelings are overjeweled. I can't cajole myself as if it's not effective anymore. The winds are caged, sticking to the bars of restrictions. The atmosphere infringes the situation, seizing everything which is caught red hand of disobedience. I could not help but scribbling anything that scratches at this moment. I heart my each heart to hardly help to overcome hurdles. I don't want to be a sad poet, a sudden click on my head. My head is heading towards the home. I have to reach home with a pair of empty hands and a lot of conjugated letters. Threat, you are re-invited. Now push me into the abyss of ancient failure, like the way you do, like the way you did, like the way you shall be doing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for patiently listening to my words.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Beautiful passion, wonderfully crafted, wonderful vocabulary. All of it was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm very much honored and humbled. Thank you.
So are we. Thank you. Thank you for staying up so late. I really appreciate it. And now we have Terri R.
Trying to unmute. It wasn't working. Okay. This is my book behind me, and it's called Chameleon Chronicles, Words Never Spoken. I'm going to read from the book. So I'll do a couple of short ones. I don't want to keep you for a long time. So I have this one also that was read on Poetically Yours radio or iPodcast, which you can find that on if you look that up. Okay. Little bird. Little bird, where are you going after you leave your first home? Will you fly off to start great adventures or remain hidden, refusing to roam? Will you meet your partner for life or will you cower and die alone? No, spreading your wings to rise to astonishing heights. That is my prayer for you every night. Little bird, your mama knew when it was time for you to soar. She gave you the push that you didn't ask for. So that's that one. And I have this one, Ode to the Daisy. No other flower suffers at the hands of men like the lowly daisy. Vexed humans systematically pluck off each of its petals for sport. And if that isn't bad enough, when we don't get the answer hoped for, we find another helpless victim to sort. As if they had a choice. Do they feel pain? Would they scream if they had a voice? To die for love is a noble cause. That is what the daisy does. Thank you. If you're interested in the book, message me. iFunny's mom on Instagram and Terry Rose Dirtson, which is my name, on, actually it's Teresa Rose Dirtson on Facebook.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Can you put any of that in the chat, perhaps?
Sure.
It would be lovely. Thank you. Wonderful. Anyone else want to read? Okay. I brought two. One's dark and one's light. And I'm writing in a strange style now where I like write a sentence and then 2 days will pass and I'll write another couple of sentences and it's all on my phone. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. Okay, this one is called Science Fiction or Reality. Where dirt comes from. We are one with the earth despite our fastidious scrubbing to stay clean. If we don't save the planet, we will become extinct. We've known since the 1960s. Now we have to stop the clock on drilling and feasting off resources and consider our fate. God doesn't want us to be passive on this planet, but to do good in God's name each day instead. An active God guides the heart, not the wallet. Check my horoscope for how I'll be feeling today. Check the forecast for summer rain. Bring it, lightning and thunder, rain on my parade. The sniper who with his rifle on the roof killed 6 people is taken alive. He's white. The black man in Ohio, unarmed and running, did not survive 60 rounds, but they handcuffed him after the fact anyway. Fighting on July 4th somewhere in the world here about rights versus rights, separation of church and state, the Constitution, cult of personality. We have to choose. I do my best. I'm a mess, just the same. Sadness becomes a Sunday night headed home after the magical weekend. Reality becomes what's on TV. Reality hits each Monday. Storms fall out of nowhere from the sky. We desperately need the water. Science fiction meets reality when the Hunger Games become real. It's a sad one. This one's called Still Point. Leave us on a good note, I think. Okay. We are gentle farmers at last. The anger helps me peel the ginger. We construct languages around concepts of time, things that have been completed in the past, pluperfect, around philosophy and war, love and heretics. To create beauty in a time of war breaks the heart wide open. Joy remains, persists, rides butterflies, wins, living among new encyclopedic fiber highways of the mind. Anything can be found in the new jungle of robots. What is want for freedom, water, a place to live? What more can we ask of life than to be blessed? Bob Dylan sings about long gone highlands, long gone prairie, forest, fields. There is a joy in being kind to all beings, all energy. I charge this day with love and light, hugs and prayers and the good trouble fight, incense, hibiscus, selenite, holy sandstone from Monterey on my wrist, a green glass heart, a shell with a pearl, silver octopus. Lord, help us. Let us not become extinct. Platypus, green nautilus. I love how the sun feels on my skin. What would the ballerina do with the Humpty Hump dance? Everything comes from deep down. I can't help but dance, feel the earth beneath my feet. When you listen to the music, it takes you somewhere. Follow your feet with the rhythm and your hips find where it goes. The roots chase the water all the way down. Find the taproot and center. Grow up toward the sun and reach in all directions. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely, lovely afternoon. Oh my gosh, you guys. What a wonderful time we've had. Thank you all so much. Oh my gosh. Everyone was so good. What a lovely space. Yes, thank you. Awesome. Well, next month is August 27th is John Wessick, and I'll be making the poster soon. And tomorrow I'll get the video up of this. And just stay tuned. And thank you all so much for being here. It's been wonderful. Till next time.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, everyone.
Great night. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Clive.
Good work, Amy.
Good show, Clive. Yes, good job, everyone.
Good job, Clive.
Thank you,
everyone.
Clive.
Stay strong. Stay safe, guys.
Yes, stay safe.
Well done, Amy.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, Clive.
Thank you, Amy. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
You too.
Enjoyed everyone. Y'all have
Hey,
a great
Jay, you
great
should
weekend.
really take Kathy's word to heart and do something with that piece.
True.
That's
Thank you so
seriously,
much.
really, it's brilliant.
It is.
Oh, bless. I have 8 others. They're all planets in the universe.
Well, it sounds like you got to play or a one-person show. I don't. Yeah. No. I just sent you a
Hopefully-
friend request. I'd love to chat with you more. So
Oh, thank you. Be great.
you're welcome. You take care, guys. Clive,
Thank you so much.
you stay clean.
Peace.
Love you, brother.
Bye. Thanks for having me, Amy. Bye.
You're so welcome. Take care. Bye.
That was great. Really enjoyed that.
I did too. Thank you so much.
Well done, Clive. What an opening of the night. Hey.
Thank you. And you were great as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Well, everyone brought such diverse, strong pieces. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That cultural rainbow dance was really across continents. Absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
fantastic.
I must go now.
Okay, no worries. Have a blessed evening. Thank you.
You too. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Ta-ra.
Aw, huzzah.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good night.
Will do. And you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.